I am a magnet for profitable opportunities, and I attract the best deals effortlessly today. This year, I am aligned with abundance, and every deal I engage in brings immense value and prosperity. I confidently seize the opportunities that come my way and turn them into profitable ventures. My skills, expertise, and energy attract lucrative deals that are in perfect alignment with my goals. I am open to receiving wealth, success, and opportunities from both expected and unexpected sources. I take bold actions and make decisions that lead me to high impact deals and exponential profits. Every step I take is leading me toward greater success, and I am equipped to maximize every opportunity. I trust in my abilities to negotiate, close, and profit from deals that serve my highest purpose and bring value to others. My actions are in perfect harmony with my vision for wealth and success. And every deal I make brings me closer, to financial freedom. I am a deal maker, and my presence in any room attracts the best deals and the right opportunities. I have an unshakable belief in my ability to create profitable ventures. I consistently manifest wealth through strategic deals. I am constantly growing in wisdom and skill, which allows me to spot, attract, and close highly profitable deals. My network is filled with powerful allies, and together we create win-win deals that expand my influence and wealth. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right things to attract the best deals and achieve massive profits. I attract deals that align with my values, and I turn these opportunities into long-term financial success and abundance. The universe supports me in every deal I take, providing me with the resources, people, and opportunities I need to succeed. I have a mindset of abundance, and I see profitable opportunities where others see challenges. I trust that every deal I engage in will lead me to greater success, making me more powerful and profitable every day. I am fully capable of turning every opportunity into a profitable outcome, and I am grateful for the wealth flowing into my life. I am a master of attracting the best deals and maximizing them for the highest level of profit and success. This is my year of deals and profits, and I access incredible wealth that is more than enough for restoring peace and orderliness to our world. I'll take that again. This is my year of deals and profits, and I access incredible wealth that is more than enough for restoring peace and orderliness to our world. Amen. Can I hear you say amen? Okay. Because we are starting our session with the art of closing deals, I'd like to yield the podium to the coach of all coaches, Mr. P.F. Sir. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Arit. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. Okay, we're 48 in the room. So please grab your, nobody should miss this particular session because it's very, very, very important. So please grab your invite. Please tell your friends, your enemies, your frenemies, everybody, invite Donald Trump, Elon Musk. They need to listen to this session. right, on the act of making deals, because the kind of deals they are making looks like they are bullying everybody, right? So invite Elon Musk or Eri Moss in the language of Mr. Odumeje. Invite Eri Moss, invite Donald Trump, invite everybody that you can to the meeting. We're going to be, so you know that this is February, and like we said, our meetings is from this month is going to be once a month, right? So there's no meeting next week and upper week till March. So after this meeting, that's why this meeting is an extensive meeting. After this meeting, we will function in our various groups. So if you don't belong to a zone, please sign up to a zone. I believe our global admin can put the various links to joining any of the groups. If you're in Africa or Nigeria, there's a group for you. You have your coordinator and your programs in there. UK, they have their community. They'll put a link on the chat box. You can just click and join their WhatsApp group. North America also have their group. In fact, North America is doing a whole lot of events and all financial empowerment, understanding the tides and what's going to happen and all those things. So please make sure, where is Ayo? Please put a link and the zones on the chat box so that people can join, right? So after today, you will function in your zones till next month, right? So we're going to unpack every of the thing that is going to be taught today because this year is about implementation. It's about people doing deals, big deals, closing deals, and all. Well, so this month is about the act of closing deals. It's our year of deals and profits. Okay, looks like people are inviting people. We're 56 now. Let's wrap up the number like we normally would do. You can't do, I always pray, when we read, give us this day our daily bread. My understanding of that scripture is give us today what will be sufficient for the rest of our days. That this whole idea of everyday work, salary is good, but what will you do with your life? But let me ask you, you can put your answer on the chat box. What will you do with your life if you suddenly have a breakthrough that guarantees all you need for the rest of your life? What would you do? What will you do with your life? If suddenly you have a windfall that guarantees the rest of your life that you don't even need to work again, what will you do? You realize that maybe you become a missionary. Maybe you do a lot of good things. You will send people to school, right? Because once you transit survival, right, you live out your dream. You literally will do a lot of good work, right? And that's what happens, So give us today what will be sufficient for the rest of our days, okay? Deolu says, I'll do more giveaways. Okay, give me. You have not done giveaway for me. Oh yeah, you do giveaway today, right? And so you will do a whole lot more for humanity. That's what we're saying, right? And so one of the ways to answer that prayer is transaction. I once had a mentor who said to me that every time he goes, he used to be a trainer. He said he has grown to a level that every time he goes to train now, the profit from his training, and that's how he measures success, the profit from his training must be able to buy a house in Banana Island. And so you know what I mean, right? I don't know what houses cost in Banana Island, but he said the profit from his training must buy him a house. If he can't buy him a house in Banana Island, it's not going to go, right? And he does a lot of training. So some of us, one transaction that you are part of, you might just be in the room, be helping them write minutes. They give you 1% of the transaction you are made for the rest of your life. Okay, my brother Bengakuka say pro bono all the way. Right, so today I have someone I know who has done deals all his life. When I met our speaker, I still remember he has one picture when the first day I met him. He had one picture in his office where he has a cowboy. That's why he should be living in Texas. He has this Texas, then he has, I think, a gun. Then he has a billion naira, $1 billion, you know, at the background. And I started laughing. And because he's very tall like me, okay, I've just said the opposite. I'm like, what's this guy's audacity with, you know, but all his life he's done deals. I mean, I've seen him do deals. I've seen him close deals. I've seen him done transactions at the highest level across nations. And so I believe that it will be the best guy to do justice to this. He's an accomplished entrepreneur. He's a trainer. He's a coach. We call him Coach B. He runs Coach B Stewards. If you have taken any protocol reader, that's the man behind it. I mean, he has done a whole lot. He's my friend. He's my brother. He's someone I love so much. House of Saviors, please, let's make welcome Deolu Akinyemi. We call him chairman. Okay. It's so good to have you here. And so we're going to yield the mic to you, CM. We greet him, Jampana, to see Greto. Accept my offering. You're welcome, CM.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well done, praise. Well done, everyone. I'm looking for myself. Okay, I found myself. Okay. So I'd like to say hello to everyone out there. Today, I'm going to be speaking from my heart, speaking from my experience, sharing some insights that I've learned over the years. And I think it's going to be an exciting time. After I'm done, we'll have the opportunity of asking questions. So, and when we're done with the question asking, that's when we'll rest the conversation. So I'd like to first of all start by establishing a few key principles, and then we'll talk through a few key things. I'll share with you, a bit of my ideas, my history, a little of my background, where I learned how to sell from, how to close deals, and then we're going to ask questions based on the uniqueness of what we do. Typically, I like to talk with slides, but I have a very interesting scenario that's happening right now. I don't have access to my computer where all my slides are, but I think it's a blessing in disguise because it gets me to stay in your face and just share with you what I've seen and what I've experienced. So I'd like to say welcome, everyone. Again, thank you very much, Praise, to see Greto. And I'm sure he'll explain all of that means. So very quickly, I'd like to go into it. The art of closing deals. How do I close deals? How do we make sales? How do we ensure that what we are offering, what we want to sell, gets exchanged with value from the other side? Every entrepreneur knows, everybody who is in business knows that money follows value. Okay, I tell people, God doesn't answer your prayer for money by sending dollar rain. Your prayers will be answered by you offering value and somebody giving you money in exchange for your value. Money follows value. Okay, but guess what? It's not everybody who has value that is able to exchange the value. It's not everybody who has something of worth to give that ends up being rich, because not everybody knows the way to the market. I like the way Proverbs describes a lazy man. He says he does not know the way to the market. He says there's a lion on the street. That more often than not, what we need is that final last page closing, closing portion of making sure that the value we have is recognized by the person that we want to sell it to. And that's why one of the things you need to understand very well when you want to, close deals or make sales or exchange value for money, you have to understand how human beings think. You need to understand human behavior. You need to understand the buyer's persona. Okay, everybody in this world, including yourself, including myself, we don't want to be cheated. We want to get value. More often than not, all of us transact every day. We transact regularly. We are always exchanging the resources we have for the value we want. And we do it in a particular way because there's a way we think when we are buyers. And unfortunately, people that try to sell to us need to learn how to think like buyers before they can successfully sell to buyers. So I'm going to be running this conversation in 3 interesting ways. One, I'm going to share with you the thinking process of a buyer. What is a buyer thinking about and why will a buyer buy? So we're going to talk about why a buyer will buy, and the thinking process that's going on in the buyer's mind. We're going to talk about the psychology of persuasion. What exactly will help me move the needle in my conversation until somebody says yes? So what's the psychology of how do I convince someone to buy my point of view? And then 3, we will talk about the steps of the sales process, the deal closing process, what are the things that will happen in this almost artistic conversation to get the buyer to buy. What is the scientific process that makes up a call and makes up a deal, right? So we're going to look at these 3 key elements, and then we'll take a few examples of how they can blend them together to achieve success. If you're here and you're still in the room, please in the comment section, give me a yes, and then we'll get going with it. Okay, so the first thing we'll look at a buyer's persona, why a buyer will buy. We'll look at this, how do I persuade? And then what are the steps that I will get involved in running the call? Okay, now, very good. Thank you. I can see the yeses. So the first thing I'd like to say is all of us have experience buying. Okay, so this is not anything new I'm going to teach you. I'm just going to help you look at your conversations from a different point of view. Okay, if you can get yourself immersed in the psychology of a buyer, you'll realize that since we're all buyers, it should not be difficult for us to speak to other people and get them to buy. Okay, so typically the first thing that is going on in any buyer's mind before any buyer. Now, there are times when you go to a shop and you go to the shop and you just go there to make a purchase. You go there yourself, you look at the shelf, you see a product that catches your fancy, and you buy it. Now, that one, you have a need, usually something within the first layer of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have a need, first 3 layers, you have a need you want to meet, it's a survival need. You're going there, you're looking for who is offering themselves to you in the best possible way, who is giving you the best value for money. So you do the assessment of the value yourself. You're thinking, what do I need to buy? What exactly are they selling? You're trying to match each product with your value, the perception you want to have. You're matching all those things. And they don't need to do any selling to you. The deal is closed by what they have done before you enter that shop. Okay? But this is not how we make deals. We make deals by thinking, by breaking down this process that doesn't seem to have a pattern. We break it down into a pattern. We understand that pattern, and we ensure that every time we engage a buyer, that system is what we are playing to. Remember, there's a psychology of how a buyer buys. There's a thinking process of how a buyer buys. This thinking process can be ignored. You may not observe what's going on, but if you will ever sell successfully to somebody, it'll be good that you're able to freeze this process, break it down into key steps, understand it, and ensure that's how you converse with buyers going forward. And what's the first thing? The first thing we realize is every buyer is asking themselves, this person that is trying to sell to me, do they understand what I'm going through? Okay? Every buyer is asking, does this person understand my condition? Does he understand or she understand my limitations? Do they understand my opportunities? And do they understand my needs? I usually say that is CLON. My condition, my limitations, my opportunities, and my needs. Every time you want to sell to somebody, your ability to build rapport and go beyond the stage of the initial conversation is a function of your understanding of your customer. So the first thing you want to invest in before you begin to sell aggressively is to build that rapport to ensure that there is a conversation that demonstrates that you understand them. Do you understand them? By listening, by asking questions, by doing an analysis even before you ever speak to them about their current realities. It is a careless salesperson or a careless deals person who goes into an engagement with no information and no idea about the realities of the person that they want to sell to. Okay, you and I need to invest in knowledge, invest in research, invest in knowing, either by building friendship, building rapport, creating a basis for conversation. You need to demonstrate from your first line out, from your first set of conversations, that you understand their conditions, you understand their limitations, you know their opportunities, and you know their needs. Now, what does this mean? We can break these key elements down to say, what does it mean? It means before I engage in conversation, I want to close a deal. I want to sell uniforms to a particular school. Who is currently offering them uniforms? What prices are they getting? What are their limitations? Are they able to pay at once? Will they prefer to pay gradually? What are their opportunities? If they get this at a good deal, what else will they be able to do with their money? What are their needs? Okay, is there something that is missing? Is there a gap in the current supplier that I can fill? Okay, this seems like a small area, okay, but it's very important. Before you make your first move, understand your customer, listen to all the cues they've made available, sell to them, demonstrating that you understand their conditions, understand their limitations, understand their opportunities, and understand their needs. Okay. Once you get this very correctly, or you get this clearly, you will have built the rapport sufficient for you to now engage them on your idea. Okay. So everybody who is listening to you is listening to you, asking a question in their mind. So they want you, and these principles work not only in closing the deals for business, even in closing the deals for marriage. Any deal you want to close in this life, this same process, the same 5 key steps are the steps you will find in the psychology of the buyer. Okay, you go to meet a girl out, a guy, and you say, you know what, I love you. Okay, that's too fast. Before you say I love you, you first want to demonstrate that you know them, because they're wondering, what do you love exactly? What exactly is this all about? Okay, so the first thing is to build rapport, understand them, understand their conditions, understand their limitations, understand their opportunities, understand their needs, and then the next thing will be, they will be asking themselves, okay, this person knows me, this person knows my challenges, this person knows what I need, this person understands my limitations. What is their idea? What exactly are they selling? What exactly is he all about? So every question that the buyer is asking is a trigger for you to know what you want to supply next. So once you demonstrate your understanding of their conditions, limits, opportunities, and needs, the next thing you want to go to is state your idea. What exactly is the idea? Now, this idea is what you want to sell to them. I want to supply uniforms. I want to supply food for your company. I want to be the one who does HR consulting for you. I want to do this training for your organization. I want to do XYZ. Now, listen to me. This may be a one-on-one conversation. It can be emails. It can be virtual. It can be real. The same cycle subsists. You need to know that every time you are conversing with your customer or you're making your presentation, they are in one of these 5 models. Either they're in the place where you need to demonstrate that you understand them, or they're in the place where they need you to state your idea. Now, to state your idea before demonstrating that you understand them is a waste of your idea. It's like planting your maize on the bare ground without having softened the soil, put manure in the soil, and create a conducive environment for your soil to grow, for your crop to grow. So you first want to demonstrate understanding, then you state your idea. Now, state your idea. Okay, you state your idea. Your buyer is wondering, how will this work? Right? The buyer is asking their minds, how will this work? Okay, remember the question that they're asking. First, the question they're asking is, this person who is trying to talk to me, do they understand where I'm coming from? Do they understand what I need? Do they understand me? And then when you demonstrate the understanding, they say, okay, what is he selling? And then you share your idea. When you share your idea, in their mind is going, how does it work? And that means that's the trigger, because the next thing you need to solve for is how it works. You need to have a story, okay? You need to have a conversation that is a story loaded with emotions, loaded with reality, loaded with practicality of exactly how your idea will work. I'm going to give you an example so that you can follow me on this journey and see samples of how this can be done. How does this work? The person is asking themselves, okay, this idea, interesting. How will it work? So break it down. Break it down into how it works. Break it down on how you see, tell a story. Telling a story is not about sharing the story about the lion and the monkey. It's not about sharing the real. No, it's about making sure that the conversation you are having with your clients, you are carrying them along. A story is you are telling them something that connects on how what you want to do for them will solve their problem. You are trying to establish the value, right? And that value is established in demonstrating or describing vividly, clearly, emotionally, okay, how it works. Now, reality is many times, people can buy things because of the facts, but most times people buy things because of the emotions. Okay, so you want to ensure that your story appeals to their facts, to their head, and it also appeals to their heart. Tell the story of how it works. And once you tell the story of how it works, what question do you think your buyer is asking next? Anybody? Please, in the comment box, let's do a little interaction. We have solved for their demonstrating understanding. We have solved for sharing your idea. We have solved for how it works. What question do you think your buyer is asking next? Okay, Olubega says how much? Says cost. Someone says price. Okay, I'll tell you. Even though it may look like that's where he wants to get to, that's not where it is yet. Okay, the question they're asking yet, the next question that will be triggering in their mind is interesting. How does this benefit me? How does this benefit me? Thank you, Mommy Star. What's the benefit in this for me? What's in this for me? Okay. Now, everybody who wants to buy is not buying because your product is the best thing that happens to sliced bread. They're not buying because of how gorgeous your product is. They are buying because of what's in it for them. There's a radio station that everybody tunes into. It's called We FM, WWIFM. It's an acronym for what's in it for me. What's in it? What is in it for me? We FM. Okay, everybody wants to know, how does this pay me? What are the benefits? What am I going to benefit from doing this? How will this make my life different? How will this solve my problem? How will this help my life? How is this a good thing for me? So the next thing that the buyer does is share the benefits. Remember this, don't forget, you can write it down. Features tell, benefits sell. Features tell, benefits sell. Every time you're trying to make a deal, and unfortunately, many people talk about features. Oh, this car I want to sell to you is a double silencer. It has V8 engine. It can run very fast. It's this and that. Features tell. All you're doing is just telling them. You want to really sell, you want to close the deal. Benefits sell. So you want to sell it with benefits. This car will move you to, you travel a lot, you're going to get there faster, and then you'll be more effective and efficient and productive. This car is very secure. You want the most secure car in the last 1 year. I know you want to use it to drive your family. This is the ideal car for a family person. This car is very good for somebody who wants to close deals. They can, whatever. You don't just sell in space. You sell by explaining the benefits that suit the person whose conditions, limits, opportunities, and needs you already understand. Okay? So you share the benefits. These are the benefits of doing this. This is what it's going to achieve. This is how it's going to help. This is what's going to happen. You sell the benefits. And as soon as you're selling the benefits of how it's going to make a difference in their lives, every benefit has a format. The benefit is either reducing something, increasing something, making something better, making something easier, making something cheaper, making something faster, making something slower. It's about, a benefit is performing a role that makes a particular value more, less, better, more. It's basically increasing, reducing. It's causing an effect on something. And of course, in business, I want to be more comfortable. I want to buy something that is cheaper. I want something that will last longer. I want something that gives me more productivity. I want something that makes my life, essentially, that's what I'm looking for. So essentially, you want to ensure that you share the benefits. And once you share the benefits, the question that the person is asking next, okay, is what are the next steps? Sure. What do I do now? It's like salvation, like altar call. I hear this is the house of saviors. Okay, I'm going to give you an example using altar call. Remind me of how this works, because if you've been in church and you have been in the faith, you will have seen altar calls that produce results. You have seen altar calls that don't produce any results. It is how the buyer wants to buy. Okay, it's the psychology of how somebody who wants to make a decision is helped to make a decision. So once the benefits are clear, you want to make the next steps easy. Okay, make the next steps easy. Are they going to pay? Offer them how to pay. Are they going to collect a receipt? Give them a receipt and ask them to pay. Make sure that they don't have to travel long distances, do heavy lifting, do difficult things for the deal to close. Make sure that the process that closes the deal is short, sharp, and sweet. Make the next steps easy. Okay? If you got the 5 things I just shared with you, give me 5. Give me 5 in the comment box, and then I'll now give you 2 examples to make sure that you never forget this. Okay, I'll give you 2 examples to make sure you never forget this. Good. So you can see a few 5 there. Beautiful. So let me tell you a little bit of an example. So imagine, for example, this is 100. This is 200 level. A number of students are in class together. They're in engineering class. There's a very beautiful girl in the engineering class. She's very fine, and everybody's in 200 level now. And because she's very fine, all through 100 level, different guys in the class have tried to toast her. And they tried to toast her, and she just got frustrated. Her classmates are not just seen as classmates, they are seen as like a conquest. And because of this, in 100 level, she was very full of life, very bubbly, always answering questions in class, always giving suggestions. But guess what? That kind of like made everybody look in her way, and everybody wanted to be with her. And she just, she tried to weigh them off, win them off. She became unfriendly. She became less participative in class. She asked less questions. She wasn't flowing anymore, and it affected her results. Okay, she ended up scoring B's and C's in most of her courses, ended up with a GPA of about 3.2 into 200 level. Things were bad. And then there was this sharp guy in class who also liked her, but gave her a little breathing space in 100 level. Knew that 100 level rush was not going to achieve anything. So this young guy went to meet the lady and said to her, Victoria, how are you doing? I have something I'm thinking about that I think will help you. I noticed that you are very lively in the first semester of 100 level. And I noticed that people were toasting you and you kind of like withdrew yourself. I've noticed that it has affected your results. I've noticed that you can really do better than this. You are smarter than this, but something's not just working right. I think I have an idea that can make you do better. Right? What have I just done? Okay? I'm trying to close the deal, isn't it? What have I just done? I have demonstrated that I understand the customer. I can see her condition. She's not at the grade she should be. I can see her limitations. The boys are always on her neck. I can see her opportunity. She can turn things around and have a good degree. I can see her need. She needs something to fix this. If there's any idea that can work, she's asking, what is your idea? Now, I've gotten her to listen because I've come from understanding. Are we together? I've gotten her to listen because I've come from understanding. I'm not coming from, hey, you look so fine. I like you. You like my friend. That's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from, I understand where she's coming from. I understand her limitations. I understand that she will be asking, she may not vocalize it, but her look will tell me, wow, there's a way I can change my results, change things. What's the idea? I think, well, the idea is, right, that you and I can behave or form as if we're going out. It's going to be a fake relationship. But the idea of this relationship, what have I said? The idea is let's pretend like we're going out, right? And then use that to ward away everybody. And then you can really be free, really be who you can be, and you can focus on your academics. Nobody will stop you again because you think you're with me, and things will go ahead. So what's the idea? The idea is let's pretend that we're being together. How will it work? How it work is very simple. Every day when you're coming to class, there'll be a seat beside me. When you come into class, you come and sit beside me. Every time we're going, we'll go away together. We'll leave class together. I'll pick you up from once in a while. We'll come together. Everyone will see us together. We'll tell them that we're a thing, even though we're not a thing. But that will give you no pressure from other people, right? You'll be able to focus on your academics. You'll be able to be the bubbly person you were before. You ask questions in class. You enjoy whatever, and I think this way you will be able to be yourself. What are the benefits? The benefits are you will become lively in class again. People will feel free to share with you, learn from you without putting you under any pressure. You'll be free from male attention pressure. You'll be able to participate in class as you should, do your assignments, and become friendly with everybody because people don't want to have what they can't have, what's already taken. And it will improve your grades. You'll be able to work out your grades to getting beyond 3.5. This may be the reason why you finish with 2-1, or even the first class if you're able to give you the effort that it requires. And it's going to be the kind of ride you'll have had in other level if you understood how this will work. What are the next steps? We don't need to wait till tomorrow. We can start today. So today, while we're in class, I'll create space name myself. You come and sit down there. Next time you get to class before me, create space name yourself and tell people that I'm already there. People get the idea that you're with someone. They'll stop pressuring you. You can enjoy yourself. You can have a full good time in class. Keep this up for a semester. We'll see how it works. If it works well, we'll continue for another semester. And, we'll take it on from there. Okay? What have I done? What has this guy done? 1, demonstrate that you understand the conditions, right? 2, spill the idea and say this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want you to do. Explain how it works. Share what the key benefits are. Okay? Better results. Okay? More participation in class. More opportunities for socializing with other people without pressure. Easy next steps. We can start right away today. Create space around for me. And then we'll continue like that. Okay? Now, is that deal likely to be closed? That deal will be closed. That deal is not about the guy wanting a girlfriend, even though that's what he wants, right? But that deal was about helping somebody else meet their needs. Their needs are met, the guy's needs are met. 2 years down the line, they're in a serious relationship. They've gotten fond of each other. Nothing breeds love like presence. They staying close together, reading together, working together, doing this together has allowed feelings to develop on both sides. They're not really fighting with it. They both kind of like it. They've gotten to a place where they didn't really foresee that we're going to get from the beginning. She's doing better in her classes. She now has a 4.0 GPA. She's moving forward and moving ahead in life. Everything is beautiful. Deal closed. Right? So that's just basically to help you understand what that process looks like. I'll give you another example. If you understand, just say, I get it. Say, I get it. Okay, but just for the sake of understanding, I'll give you another example. Somebody says sharp guy. Yeah, if you close a good deal, it always feels like a sharp guy. Always feels like it's a sharp guy. Reality is what makes deals work is win-win. Everybody's looking out for themselves. Everybody's looking out for what value can I add? What value can I get? So if you play to WFM, you're likely to make this happen. Okay. Someone says you are using your days. I'm sure it's still working for you now. I'm sure you're finding something that works for you. Now, let me go to another example. Another very popular example that I'm sure many of us are familiar with is altar call. And I'm sure you've seen this before. So there's altar call. You first of all preach the message. You preach the message, you share the gospel, In sharing the gospel, you say, look, if you are here today and you are a sinner, you are here today, your life is not right with God. You're here today, you still find yourself falling into the things you don't want to do anymore. Right? What am I trying to do? I'm establishing that I understand their conditions and their limitations and their opportunities and their needs. You are here and you want to have a right relationship with God. You are here. Things are not the way you want them to be. You know that if Jesus Christ comes today, you are going to hell. Okay? Certain conditions. If you're here, I would like you to make a decision today to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. That's the idea. How will it work? Dead men don't invite. Anybody who comes to God is because God has invited him. If your heart is nudging you today, it's because your heart is responding to God. Okay, how it will work is I will lead you in a sinner's prayer. You will say after me, you will open up your heart to God, you will ask Jesus into your life, and when you ask into your life will not remain the same again. Okay, you will find that there will be benefits. You find, I've said how it works. Benefits. You find that your hunger for God will continue to grow. You'll find that you will feel better and at peace with God. You will not feel troubled. All the things that are bedeviling you will become history. Your life will be better and moving in the right direction. Right? So what have I done? Established that I understand the needs. I've studied the idea. I've shared how it works. I've established the benefits. The next step is make it easy. So what do? If you are there today and you want to make a decision, all eyes closed. Why am I asking all eyes to be closed? I'm asking all eyes to be closed because I want your next steps to be easy. I don't want you to feel the pressure of eyes on you. I don't want you to have the pressure of everybody's checking me out and seeing this sinner that's coming out. All eyes closed. Put your hand on your chest where you are. What am I doing? I'm saying nobody's seeing your hand. Nobody's seeing you. Your eyes are closed and you have put your hand on your chest. It's a very basic place to put your hand on your chest. It's a decision you're making between yourself and God. And I'll say, if you have put your hand on your chest where you are, I'd like you to do one bold thing for me. All eyes still closed. Rise up where you are. It's a commitment you're making to God. God sees you, and it's a bold step of saying, I'm standing with you, God. And then you put your hand on your chest and you stand up. Okay? And then I say, you know what? If you are standing, let's just take it one final level up. Just walk to the front. Let us make a public declaration and a witness for God. Let me pray for you. And what have I done? I wanted the person to rise up and come to the front. But I first of all said, all eyes closed. I first of all said, put your hand on your chest. I first of all said, get up where you are. And then I said, walk. What is this process? It's making it easy. Now, I'm just giving you a template for understanding how you want to close deals. You want to close deals by ensuring you demonstrate understanding of where the customer is, right? You share the idea, you explain how it works, you share the key benefits, and you make the next step. Okay? If you do these 5 things correctly, more often than not, you'll be able to take the journey from conversation to close. Okay? Now, but guess what? How do I even get to that conversation? How do I get to the place where I begin to converse with this person? Okay? How do I get to the place where I begin to even have this engagement? Right? We'll talk about the key steps of a call. And when I get into this conversation, how do I enlist the key elements in the psychology of persuasion to grace my conversation, particularly about how it works and about the key benefits and about making it easy? How do I move somebody over the line by using the psychology of persuasion? That's what I'm going to share next. But if you are following so far and you have found things you can implement already in closing the sale, give me yes. in the comment box, and then I move very quickly to the psychology of persuasion. Okay. Good. Now, so we move very quickly into the psychology of persuasion. And this is a book I think you should read. In this first thing I've described, I actually have something I wrote on this as a book on selling that I have that covers 1 and 3. Okay, there's another book somebody else wrote that covers number 2, the psychology of persuasion. I think it's a very good book, but I'm going to give you an insight, a summary insight into how you can persuade people. Now, if you understand the art of persuasion, you can actually become, every good skill can either be used for good or for evil. Okay, and I believe in being ethical. I believe in being, going for the best ideal for the common good. So I like to say, use this skill with caution, use it for good, use it ethically, because the psychology of persuasion is about understanding human behavior and ethically guiding them to make a decision. Now, listen, any of these things I'm teaching you, if you do them, you will get people to do your bidding, whether it's good for them or not. But the ethical way to go is to ensure that in everything you are promoting, people win. I tell people, win is the only sustainable transaction element that you can have. Once it's not win-win, it will not sustain. Once both parties do not win, it will not last. When both parties do not win, somewhere down the line, somebody's going to end the drama. And many of us have been a part of ended dramas before because somebody in that equation just felt, I am no longer winning. And because I'm not winning, I'm not doing anymore. So it's either win-win or no deal, because what is most sustainable is when both parties win. So how do I use these key elements of the psychology of persuasion to move the needle and move people to make a decision? Now, whether you like it or not, many deals are not closed in one meeting. It takes time. It takes days. Sometimes it takes weeks. Sometimes it takes a year. I was sharing with Praise a few days ago. I said I spent half of the year to close one deal, right? That even me, that with the rapport that I think I had with this person, with everything I think I had, it took 1 year to eventually get one deal from yes to paid. So of course, there are different processes in that journey, and that's for a particular transaction. So of course, if it takes you half a year to close a deal, then that deal must be worth it, isn't it? If it takes you a full year to close 3 deals, then those were the 3 deals worth doing, right? So the deals, I tell people, is like childbirth as well. If it's coming big, it doesn't come quickly, right? So the gestation period for rats is about 2 weeks. Gestation period for dogs is about 3 months. The gestation period for rabbits is like 1 month. The bigger the babies, the longer it takes. The gestation period for human beings is like 9 months. The gestation period for elephants is like 1 year. The bigger the baby, the longer it takes. So also know that different deals will take different times to close. And because it takes different times to close, you need to understand the psychology well. Because in your interaction, you will need to utilize the key elements of the psychology of persuasion. Remember, it's a way to guide people to make decisions ethically. You want them to make ethical decisions. They're for their good, they're for their win, and for your win as well, and you guide them. So in this book written by, I think, Richard Cialdini is the author of the book. Cialdini is the author of the book. Get the book. It's a very good book. Or it's with the examples. It's really like a professorial. It's really like a doctorate. Psychology of influence. It's really like a doctorate book with examples, with case studies, with all sorts of things. Lovely book. But let me just share a few concepts with us today. The first key concept here in persuasion is called reciprocity. Okay, somebody help me type in that comment box reciprocity. Okay, and what reciprocity says is this is a very well researched concept. This is not an idea that somebody created. This is a product of observing human beings, observing human life, observing human interaction. It was realized that there's a principle called reciprocity, which says people feel indebted when they are given something. Okay, people feel obliged to return favors. Now, this is a very powerful principle. Listen, it says people feel obligated to return favors. People feel if you have done something good for me, I need to do something good for you. Now, this feeling of obligation, this feeling of I owe you, is such a powerful tool in persuasion. And I'm sure many of us have seen this in action before, even when we didn't pay attention to it. I'll give you an example. Okay, research shows that if somebody came to you or somebody has come around and you want the person to do something, and while the person is waiting for the meeting where they'll meet with you, you offer them a bottle of Coke. Where if they actually drink the bottle of Coke costs you like 200 naira, or costs you like $2, or whatever it costs you. People will feel, because I drank your bottle, because I drank your drink, I now feel, yes, Robert Cialdini, influence psychology of persuasion. He says, now, because I have taken your Coca-Cola, which costs less, I will now most likely make a decision that will cost me a lot more as reciprocity for the Coca-Cola you gave me. What this says is, if you are doing business transaction with people, offer them something. Give something free ahead. Give something. Everybody feels obligated when they get something from somebody else. Generosity, practiced intelligently, okay, can be a lethal weapon even in business, in closing business deals. And interestingly, they found a few key interesting principles. The value of what you give does not compare or compete, has no correlation to value of what is paid back. Okay, that even when you are not, you involuntarily collect what they give you, it still feels you obligated. How many people now? Let's take a census. How many people have experienced this before? You go for a program, and then there are these funny ladies at the gate who are trying to tag your chest with something. They bring this, they want to tag your chest. They bring something like this, and then they put pin, and they tag your chest, and then they say, give us donation. How many of us are falling for that before? Once you collect the pin, once you collect the lapel, once you collect the Savior's pin, or you collect the our fallen heroes, or you collect any of those things, guess what? You're about to fall in trap for it. Okay, ribbons, excellent. Lead magnets, good. What are they doing? They are playing on this principle. They know that once they give you, even when you're saying no. Once they give you, you feel there's an obligation. You will come out of your pocket and give 1,000. Some will give 200. Some people will give 500. Some people can give 5,000. People will give much more than the value of what was spent, because once you receive a gift, you want to reciprocate. Okay, I'm sure some of us have been casualties of that before. How many people have gone? You've gone somewhere for a meeting. Maybe it was a networking event or something, and then you went for the meeting, and then they brought snacks, they brought drinks, they brought food. You ate, and then they now say they are raising funds, or they say that I can contribute and be a member, or say something. I just feel like I have to do something. I have eaten their food. I need to take action. I need to reciprocate. Okay, the law of reciprocity says people feel indebted. Okay, offer people value, free advice, samples, insights, build trust. Reciprocity is a principle you can use to build trust. Good. Somebody says sugar sellers. Okay, sugar sellers. They will, once you're there, standing in front of the fire, they will just cut one for you like this. Oh yeah, taste. Taste. As soon as you taste like this, bros, you don't buy sugar with that. Okay, fair and square. All these perfume sellers, they come and meet you and say, smell. Everybody who gives you samples, who gives you a free this, a free that, is arranging you for a deal to be closed. Reciprocity works. Principle number 2. Okay, I'm sure we've all benefited from reciprocity. So how does this help you? Whenever I try to close a deal, don't be too hard on winning in the early game. Okay, look for something you can give. You're doing something for someone, person comes to your office, you go to their office, leave something with them. Leave something with them that will put you consistently in their mind. Give. Okay, and of course, you've heard that scripture. Give, and it'll be given to you in good measure. Press down, shake it together. Shall men give to your bosom? Okay, this giving is not with God, it's with men. When you give, it will come back to you in good measure. Press down, shake it together, and running over, people will put in your bosom as well, because of the law of reciprocity. Second one is the law of scarcity. Okay, people are more attracted to something the moment they realize that it is not available. Okay, limited availability increases perceived value. Okay, once something is not available, it becomes higher in value. The lady who says no to everybody becomes more valuable than the one that says yes to everybody. Okay, forgive me. I like to use examples that make it stick. Okay, if once it's the last one, there's a fight for it. Once you have too many, everybody feels for it. Well, there's be too many, it must be useless. Okay, so use scarcity to your advantage. Okay, highlight exclusive offers or limited time basis, limited time offers. Open the deal, close the deal, give it constraints. Okay, use scarcity as a way to get things going. Okay, if you think about it, people waste time and delay until you tell them, you know what, this deal closes on December 31st. I'm sure trainers will have seen this. Trainers use it a lot. People that do events, the facilitation, they use it a lot. They tell you it's over for this time. After this time is gone, right? So what do you want to do? You want to ensure that you use scarcity to your advantage. Okay, things become higher perceived in value when they're scarce. If you're available, okay, your skill sets are available, you're always around, then you will not command much value. But if you can make yourself scarce or make the offer you have time bound and limited, it provides more perceived value and it allows people to close quicker. Has anybody here experienced a nudge to buy from scarcity before? Has something being scarce or finishing or ending ever propelled you to quickly close the deal? I'm sure everybody here has experienced one way or the other. There's a training, there's a seminar, there's something, and then it's closing, and then it's that last minute that you really feel like doing it. You really feel like getting in, right? That last minute, you really feel like jumping in. That's scarcity. Scarcity is being used to close you in that deal. Number 3, okay, you have authority. Authority. Anybody, please let me type authority in that chat box. Let me know that you are still awake. Authority. Authority people says people tend to follow credible, knowledgeable experts. Excuse me. People tend to follow credible, knowledgeable experts. Now, how do you use it to your advantage? People are not going to buy what you have except you're able to demonstrate some level of authority. And you'll see this. People don't argue with doctors. When they say he's a doctor, okay, people just believe he's a doctor. Spend 6 years in school, spend some other time in consultancy, spend some time in surgery. He knows what he's saying. Follow what the doctor says. Okay, doctors, pharmacists, mechanics. The mechanic demonstrates authority. You're likely to buy the idea. Okay, authority. People believe in experts. Okay, so if you are certified in what you're doing, you have an extra certificate to prove what you're doing, you have a track record, you have experience that shows that this is something that you're doing, you are able to leverage on testimonials, leverage on certifications, leverage on endorsements to close the deal. Say, look, you can buy from anybody. They'll tell you this, they'll tell you this. They don't know what I know. Okay, they don't have this certification that I have. They don't have this qualification that I have. I've seen this, I've done that. Here are testimonies. Here is this, here is this. You use those things to provide authority. Okay? You want to close a deal, somebody wants something, say, look, you're not the first person I'm talking to. I've done this for 10 people, and 10 of them got exactly what they came for. These are their testimonials. This is what I do. This is somebody who gave a testimony last week. Okay? You close it by giving testimonials, by showing credentials, by showing endorsements. And if you don't have them, secure them. Okay? Secure them. I think somebody did an experiment where they put some people in a room to give advice, and people were arguing with them. It took longer. And then the same people, they wore them medical gowns. They wore them this white laboratory dress and have the same conversation with another set of people. And it was an easier conversation because people saw the white garments as a sign of authority. Authority closes deals that lack of authority cannot close. Okay. The 4th one, we have done 3 now. We've gone through reciprocity, we've gone through scarcity, we've gone through authority. The 4th way to get people to move and be persuaded is consistency. Okay, somebody help me type consistency. Consistency, and this is not consistency of consistently doing something. No, this is the consistency of knowing that you can get people to commit to something that is huge by getting them to commit to something small. This consistency is not the law of doing things consistently. No, it's the law that says if I can get you to move a little in a direction, right? That little that I've allowed you to move can lead you to move in the whole direction. So it says once people commit to something small, they are more likely to follow through. So because of the law of consistency, I am happy to get people to put a step in the door. I know that if I can get them to move a little bit, they will ultimately move through. Let me show you how this principle works. This principle is the reason why people don't live abusive relationships. Because people want to be perceived as consistent. So a guy and a lady have entered a relationship, the lady realizes this is the wrong relationship for me. But she stays there consistently because she's already there. She feels, what will people say? How will they say about me? I've already spent some time with this one. Do I want to start over again? Let me just continue this one until marriage. God will manage us. We will progress. It's the principle of consistency misused. That once I commit to something small, it is likely that I will continue all through. Right? This is an adult audience. There's this very funny joke that people usually crack about a guy who wants to sleep with a girl or a man who wants to sleep with his wife. And says just a little bit. That just a little bit. We just do it a little bit. He knows that once I can get anybody to commit to a little bit, they'll commit to a lot more, right? That the law of consistency says, if you cannot get them to sell the whole 9 yards, allow them to commit to half an inch, allow them to commit to just a part, the law of consistency will cause the rest to happen. That's why when you want to go and buy a car in some clients, they give you the key and say, go and try it out. Test it for 2 days. Why? They know that once you test the car for 2 days, your friends have already congratulated you, your enemies have already seen you and they felt angry, and all of those emotions are already working out. After 2 days of using the car around, when you come back, you are likely to go the whole 9 yards because they gave you a small step that builds that consistency. So how do you use it in business? You want to get people a little taste or a little start. Find a way to get them to just do a little. In some of the business I'm involved in, you want people to join and buy your products and become VIP, right? VIP is 500,000 naira. But you realize, no, you don't need to sell them VIP immediately. Sell them a bronze pack. Sell them a starter pack. Sell them 5K. Sell them 40K. Sell them something smaller, right? And when they have something smaller, the law of consistency says, I'm already a distributor. Why can't I upgrade myself? Why am I at the lowest level? Why can I not go higher? Why can I not go higher? The law of consistency will make you go higher and go higher until you go the full 9 yards. Okay? It's like the same story I shared with you about the guy that said, let's just pretend as if we are going out together. Let's just be friends and be sitting beside each other. Right? You understand that the law of consistency says, people have seen us together. They've warmed up to the idea of us. When I eventually land the big question and say, will you marry me? It will not be difficult for you to just continue because we have spent some time together. The law of consistency is applied. Ask for small initial commitments. A foot in the door principle. Ask for small initial commitments and then reel it in later. This website, this product, let me give you an opportunity to use it for 30 days. You know, by the time they use it for 30 days, they've put all their troubles on it, they've put all their whatever on it, they've got you hooked on it. It's very easy for them to continue. Versus saying, pay us $10,000 and start now. No, free trial. How many of us have started free trial before and ultimately paid? They gave you 7 days free trial on Duolingo. They gave you free trial on different things. You took all the free trials, and before you knew it, the time to pay came and you thought, this thing is good. Oh, let me just continue. Right? LinkedIn, good. So it's saying human beings like consistency. They don't want to break the flow. They don't want to appear like it's not them anymore. They don't want to be inconsistent. So once they start a trend, once you give them an opportunity to come in now, come in. That's how Google got us. Google got me. I came in for free. I'm paying now. So many of us say free. Blinkist, give your friends 7 days free. Headway, take a free whatever. Once you get a little bit in, guess what? You keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Okay? I don't know. Someone is saying, as well, I don't know if you're saying that she gave you something small and then you are consistently committed now. I don't know what that means. Number 5, liking. People prefer to say yes to those they like and relate to. And this is why rapport is so important. Liking, please every time they're liking, the law of liking. When people, if you can get people to like you, they are more likely to do business with you. Okay? People are likely to close deals easier with you if they like you. Seriously, I just like him. I just like this guy, you know. I just like him. And just because you like him, you want to do a deal. You know what? We need to do something together. I just like you, right? So liking, invest in liking, build rapport, find common ground, and be genuine. Okay, build rapport, find common ground, find what you have in common, and be genuine. People do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. Good. So create rapport. People do this in different ways. You relationships are fed. They're like gardens. You water them, you allow sunlight, you clean the weeds. You have to be present and be there. People do business and close deals with people that they like. Okay. So how do you do this? Build rapport, find common ground, and utilize this. And the last but not the least is what is called the law of consensus. Help me write it down. Consensus. Okay. Or what you call social proof. People like what everybody is rushing. Okay. People like what everybody is rushing, what everybody likes. If you throw names, as I can say, as of course, you're welcome, my brother. Say, this person is doing it, this person is doing it, everybody is doing it. Some of the songs, I see some of the songs they sell consensus. Someone is singing, one in one whammy, one in one whammy. I just came back, Peru, Para. I just came back from Miami. What's he saying? He's saying, they're looking for me. He's trying to sell you on the idea of him with social proof, right? You say they are looking for me all over. They're looking for me in Peru. They're looking for me in this. I'm just coming from New Jersey. I'm going to Malaysia. They're singing all over the world. One wa me, baby love you non-stop. All of those songs are saying, they are. I'm in vogue. I'm hot, right? Because people buy consensus. People buy consensus. Almost every artist has one album where they are singing consensus. They are singing, that they are blown. I don't blow. That my scene is everywhere. That they're they're hustling for me. I'm hot. Okay, I'm hot. This thing is hot. This thing is selling. Everybody wants this thing. You are a laggard for not having. How can you not have what I'm selling? Everybody that's anybody has a copy. So you want to use consensus. And how do you do this? Share your case studies, share success stories, share statistics that demonstrate widespread approval. Let them know, okay, that I'm hot. I'm hot. This thing that I'm saying is everywhere. If you have not tasted, if you have not used Reader, you don't care about your health. We have 300 babies born. We have people that are on high blood pressure medications that have reduced their intake because of Reader. We have people that are on diabetes, that this is how they manage it, for lifestyle. You want to increase your gut health and save your brain, detoxify, because everybody is doing it. Social proof, right? So you want to use social proof to ensure that you can close that deal. Those two steps. That takes us in 2 steps. So very quickly, I'm not going to talk about the last, but not the least, okay, and share with you, how this works. Now, I've shared with you the thinking behind why a buyer buys. I've shared with you the psychology of persuasion. The third thing, on which I close, right, very quickly, is the steps of the call. And I'll run through that very quickly because I suspect that I've done an hour already. Okay. And this is by rote, right? My selling experience started before my selling experience started. I started selling things from when I was in JS3. Okay, I used to sell bread and egg. I've sold bookmarks. I've sold transition business. I've sold investment opportunity into mining. I've sold different things, right? And then I officially learned the sales process when I was in Procter & Gamble. I did HR for a few years, and I was given a broadening assignment in sales because you can't get to the highest level in HR in those organizations except you know the process of a call, okay? Except you know the process of how to follow through with a call and close it. Or you need to have business experience. So I went to the field and I was selling Always, I was selling Pampers, I was selling Fix Lemon Plus, and I was selling Baba Blue, right? I was selling Baba Blue. I was selling Ariel. And it was a B2B transaction. So it wasn't retail. We're not selling to customers. We're selling to retailers who will sell to customers. And that's where I learned the steps of the call. And this is suitable for any deal. Okay. So I'll give you what that process is very quickly. Hopefully you can own this. The first step is prospecting. Prospecting is the process of qualifying your prospects, is the process of finding who are the people that I want to sell to, right? Who are the people I want to sell to, and are they qualified? Am I speaking to the right audience? Am I speaking to the right person? I qualify my prospects. It's called prospecting. Okay. The next step is, maybe I give you the steps first and then I break them down. So prospecting, I call it palm poker. Prospecting, appointment setting, needs analysis, presentation, objection handling, closing, and referrals. Okay, there are seven steps in how to close a call, how to close a deal. First of all, you do prospecting, you qualify your prospects. Selling, you don't close your deal. I can't go and someone that doesn't have 10,000 naira in their account, I can't go and close a 100,000 naira deal with them. I need to qualify them. I need the right customer for my product. So let's say I'm selling phones and I'm selling iPhones, right? I can't sell iPhone to you if I see that you're not my customer. If I see that, okay, there are certain things I need to see that you have or you have access to before I know that this is a deal I can close. If you don't have the money and you are a particular, I can look at the few dynamics and just tick them and say, okay, this person is qualified as a prospect. So I need to learn how to prospect. Then appointment setting, okay, is a waste of time trying to speak to an audience that's not listening to me. So I need an appointment. I need an appointment to come and see them. I need to set an appointment, call them. There's a way to do these things. All of these key elements have a way to do them. Okay, and maybe that's the closing the deal masterclass, which we can have where we break it down, you practice, you get feedback, you get questioned, you get cautioned, you get advice, you get supported. Prospecting, how to qualify a prospect. Appointment setting, how to get people to say yes to meeting with you, right? Because there's a way to make it urgent, make it in a hurry, seal the deal. You're not selling anything. You're only asking for audience. Okay? Appointment setting. Once you get the appointment set, you want to do a thorough needs analysis. You want to ensure that you understand them, their conditions, their opportunities, their limits, everything I told you in the buying process. The process of understanding it is needs analysis. Analyze their needs, analyze their gaps, find the challenges that they have, and see what you can close for them. Do needs analysis. After you do needs analysis, and you have an appointment, you go for the appointment, and you make a presentation. Your presentation is a 5-point agenda. Demonstrate that you understand them, state the idea, show how it works, set the benefits, make the next step easy. So what you learned initially is what forms your presentation. Today, every email I write for sales purposes, every conversation around sales, every proposal I develop is built around these 5 key elements. Okay? They are a science-backed evidence, solid evidence-backed process of getting a buyer to buy. Okay? While you are doing these 7 processes, you are thinking about the psychology of persuasion. You are using reciprocity where you can. You are using liking where you can. You are using scarcity where you can. You are using authority where you can. You are using consensus where you can. All of those things are coming in. So PAN, prospecting, appointment setting, needs analysis, presentation. Every time you present, expect objections. Objections are not a deviation from your closing a deal path. They are necessary things that you need to anticipate and prepare for. There are 3 ways to manage objections. You can obtain, verify, and handle. Be very clear on what the objection is. Expect objections. You get objections, you obtain, you verify, and then you handle the objection. And once you handle the objection, you go for a close. Every time you want to make a sale, it's about the close. Some people are too shy to close. You close with courage. Okay? You become more courageous and you learn how to close. And once you close, it doesn't end. You need to get referrals because every closed deal is a channel to many others. Every closed win-win good deal will bring you others if you know how to mine them. So masterclass, you need to learn how to mine your deal closed so I can create future deals as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I hope with these few words of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you, persuade you and not dissuade you that you can close great deals this year if you set your mind and your heart to it. Thank you very much. Praise. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Tosi Greto. Okay, so guys, if you're wondering how we greet ourselves, Deolu and I go back. So there, I mean, some of you must have seen the movie Three Idiots, right? So it used to be our favorite movie. We must have seen that movie over and over and over and over again. We ran trainings with it. So that's how they greet them. They greeted themselves in the movie, and we just adopted it. So we greet ourselves that way. It's someone I love so much. Thank you very much, Deolu, for a masterclass indeed. I mean, when we're thinking about this topic, there was no other person on my mind but you. And I mean, I'm wondering what you would have done if you had your slides, right? I mean, Deolu is so brilliant, right? I'm never able to speak without my slides anyways, but thank you very much. Okay, if you have any question, please raise your hand. But I want to ask a question. You touched on something. Always ask what is in need for you. You know, David asked the question, what shall be done to the family of the man that killed this uncircumcised Philistine? But then you come to Christianity and they say to you, it's wrong to ask what is in need for me. You know, let's just be doing it. Let's just do it together and God will reward you. And then a lot of people have become bitter over that to say, we slaved together, we did everything together, you know, and then the people we started eating together, the man is now flying jets. Those of us that started together, even our cars, we used to you know, and so a lot of people seem to be afraid when they're in the room to ask what is the need for them, especially when that thing is thrown, we are doing it for God. Right. How do you strike that balance to know that this thing, there's money involved? Okay. How do people stay in the room and ask for what really belongs to them without the other party thinking that? Because again, people are gaslighted, now say, but we're doing it for God. You know, this is but then money is flowing. Right. I wanted to speak to that a bit.
So I think we need to be sorry. I hope you are hearing me clearly. It
Yes,
says my internet is unstable. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we need to be clear on the value we have. I think the real reason why people get shortchanged is because people literally sabotage themselves. And I don't think it's a problem. So I think there's a cycle of life. There's a time when you have value. Sorry, let's even bring it lower. There's a time when you are, and I think this is it's something we talk about in training all the time. There's a time when you are incompetent and you are unconscious that you're incompetent. So it's called unconscious incompetence. Somewhere along the line of your growth, you become conscious of your incompetence. So you are consciously incompetent. Then you train and develop yourself, and then you become competent. But there's a window where you are unconscious of your competence. So you have competence, but you don't know. And the time comes when you become consciously competent, where you are aware of your competence, right? And then the time comes as well where you are now very competent, even when you're not conscious, right? Now, in those gaps, you may have been working with somebody and doing something with someone and adding value. The truth is, before you started adding value, there was a time where you didn't even know you had value. Now, as soon as you become conscious that I have value to add and I'm worth something, I don't think it is wrong to begin to own your space and make demands for what you think you deserve? The answer can be yes or no. And then when the answer is yes, you have a better deal. Win-win. When the answer is no, you ask yourself, am I willing to continue even with this no? So I feel people cheat us because we first of all cheated ourselves. I don't think anybody really owns the right to having, I think people are timid, people don't know what they have, and people live like that for a long time. Now, the moment you become conscious and you realize something is going on here and the equation is not working, you need to ask yourself, how do I want to make my pitch? Now, I'm an advocate for the only way to become useful is to allow yourself to be used. But you cannot stay there, right? I like the way somebody says it. When you are available to everybody, your availability will ultimately make you unavailable. Because when you have become available to everybody, you will now not be available to the people that come next. That's your unavailability is an opportunity for you to begin to charge a premium on your value. Okay, because I've been available for free, everybody has taken me. Now they are taking me, I don't have enough time again. So anyone that wants to come now will come with pay. And I can now begin to appreciate and grow my value because my availability has made me unavailable and put me in demand. Now, you need to realize when you have become valuable and then negotiate a deal. Reality is the person will have the obligation to say, what this person is asking for, does it make sense? I'll tell you a conversation I had today. Someone is working for somebody and the person has worked for the last 5 months without pay.
Wow.
And then the person now says, I understand why there's no pay. I understand that we're not making any money. Sales are not coming in. And I'm in charge of sales. But I have not been paid for 5 months. So I go to my boss and I say to my boss, I'm not making money. But I see that I've secured some deals now for the company that will bring money in 2 or 3 months. Please, I want to be transparent with you. While I've done only this company's business for the last 2 years and nothing else, I want to begin to do my own side hustle by the side so that I can make some money so that I can survive. And then the boss flares up, gaslights, and then begins to this process. And then the person comes to tell me, yeah, I say, madam, this is a sign. It's a sign for you to become an independent consultant.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose anything. You're not being paid. You're not being paid. You won't lose anything. Just move aside. Tell them, thank you. I'm not doing anything again. I will keep on supporting you. But now, when I bring my percentage, so you are an independent consultant. You should not go and ask for permission to do another work. You have already been given permission by not being paid. So my own, whatever it is, once you realize you have value, say you have value. I said, how much is the deal you are bringing? He said it is 100 million. You brought deal of 100 million. You're not being paid. In my mind, I'm thinking, which deal do I have for this person? That this person can be doing. You need to own your space, realize your value, recognize that you have value, make a demand for what you want. If they say no, no problem. Now, the person now made an offer. Immediately, she raised the objection. The person now brought a contract. And I read the contract. She read the contract. I read the contract. This contract says you have to commit that you will not work for another person and for 5 years. Say this contract is a sign. It's a sign that it's time for you to send them your own contract. Because they've identified your value, but they are not ready to engage you. You don't have any terms. You're available. You're easy. So you need to understand your value and say, okay, God, what do I do now? How do I structure myself? I'm looking at this person. This person in another 1 year will be making the kind of money that they never thought was possible for them to make. The only thing that's holding them back is their own timidity and lack of courage. So once you have value, make a proposal and say, this is what I want. If they say it's not possible and you still want to go ahead, go ahead. Maybe the value is not strong enough. When the value becomes strong enough, nobody's going to tell you that what you have is now substantial. You can work for 5 companies like this with the same skill without the burden of, because if they're not paying your salary, it means anything you bring, you must collect 15%.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why you won't collect 15% is because they are paying your salary. Yeah. But you're a salesperson, you're not paying your salary. It means you're on commission. It must be complete. So this is my thinking. Don't let anybody use anything to cover your eyes. Your eyes can be covered when your eyes are dark. The moment you begin to see, right? You have eaten the fruit of knowledge, and you begin to see, come back to the negotiation table and ask, what's in it for me? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Deolu. Then the next question is going to be, what do you do with a deal? So, for example, you want to do a deal with government. Let's say you want to train all the teachers in Nigeria, and then you are quoting 150,000 per teacher. And then they say, mark it up to 1.5 million because that is a money spread for us. Now, how do you undo that kind of transaction? Because the default for many people, good people, is to walk away. Now, walking away, they will still bring out the money. They will now not do the job, right? But you can do the job. Now, so how does someone negotiate or handle those things, especially from the standpoint of, do you incorporate an SPV, so that it doesn't carry your name? Because the 1.5 million is going to carry your name. Maybe sometimes in the future, when they want to audit people, or when the SEC is pursuing people, they are now pursuing you and things like that. So how do people handle that kind of a scenario?
So what I think is, I think anybody who wants to use any service to take money from government will choose services that have the capacity for inflation based on assertion of value. I'll give an example. One of the easy ways to inflate either government or corporate is software. The software can be 50K, it can be 2K, and it can be 1 million, depending on the value that the person who is selling it places on it. Right? There are softwares that have been sold for $1 million, and there are softwares that have been sold for $50K, and there are softwares that have been given for free, and then they subscribe. So it depends on the model. So typically, you need to understand that, and for me, I think is sometimes our profession of faith doesn't allow us to engage issues well, to understand them. I'll give a simple example. I want to do training. I know that by virtue of the fact that I'm doing a training, I can do the training for you for free. It will cost me transport money.
Yeah.
And I can do it for ₦1 million. It's probably the value I place on myself.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm coming to your organization and there's different PR you want to manage, you tell me, Deolu, we're going to pay you 100K. Right? Is it okay for you? I say it's okay for me. How many students? You have 10 students. So that's 1 million. I say it's okay. I will still make profits. He said, but for this training, you're going to quote 500,000. Right? Now, the big picture is this. My 100K I'm collecting, is it okay for me? The 500K that I'm collecting, is it worth it? Will it be flagged in the future as something that was charged extremely high for? If it ticks those two boxes, it means it's not going to have a future repercussion because it can be that valuable.
Yes.
The sort of thing that are giving me is okay for me. The cost of the training, the new cost of the training is cost price of going there plus markup for facilitator that I want to earn as the owner of the business plus PR. I'm going to understand that this is what's happening. And I'm going to structure and see if it works for me. If it works for me, I will do it. If it doesn't work for me, I will walk away. And I think those are the dimensions you need to look at when you're doing those things. I think many of us also, I'll tell you this as an aside, even if the training was 100K and it wasn't inflated, right? It's 100K. It wasn't inflated. They ask for 100K, I collect the 100K, and it pays me. If I know what I'm doing, 50% of that cost should go for PR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I also realize, call it reciprocity. The moment I give people something, they feel like they want to return the favor.
Yeah.
The only thing they can return the favor with is give you another training. So I get more happening there. So I can I need to understand the way my environment works. Corporate, government, a time will come when they won't mark it up for you again. When they know that it's your normal behavior, right? That you also have Father Christmas traits. They'll say, no, he will do normal. He will do normal. Leave him. Anything he wants to charge is okay. But I think many of us don't engage. We don't engage that system enough. We just feel, no. They want you to do roads. They want you to carry money. Sometimes when the numbers don't tick the boxes of the value you're adding and the price can go for, the value you're contributing, and if it's okay for you, if it doesn't tick those boxes, please walk away. Because the next thing you'll see your name in the newspaper, like somebody, son of one minister of man of God, that has to render service in Kaduna. I don't mention any names.
Thank you very much. In fact, globally, and I think you really put it well, globally, training and knowledge, the value you place on it is dependent on you. And that's why oftentimes people even do money laundering for all those people. They are oftentimes trainers, they are oftentimes artists, actors, people who make clothes, fashion designers, pastors, exactly, to say, hey, my honorarium with this, I'm worth it because I came with a private jet, I came with this and da. So you're very, very correct. Because I asked that question because a lot of people of faith have walked away, because I don't want to compromise. I don't want to, yes, the money is still going to be brought out anyway. They are now going to do it, right? You are not going to make any impact. And then you will now accuse them to say these bad people. So I think it's like we have not been taught how to engage effectively. Now, the last question I'm going to ask you, if you have any question, please send me, is that how do, and I think you may have mentioned it a bit, how do people relate at the highest level? Because there are deals. For example, if you're in Nigeria, there are deals running in, I'm looking at the contract to build the road from Lagos to Calabar, which is the highest contract ever given in the history of Nigeria. And I'm wondering, why didn't they give it to us now? You and I, all right? So it says to us that there may be a gap of networking with the right people, with the power blocks, right? An average person is comfortable sitting still by themselves, saying, I'm just attending prayer meeting, I'm just trusting God, I'm just doing this, I'm just doing that. We hardly go out. When people are doing events, we don't show up there. We don't even, and sometimes there's a barrier in our head. Me, I cannot serve a non-believer. Me, I cannot, How do people break away from this mentality of, they're going to infect me, they're going to corrupt me? So, how do they properly use contact without contamination and find themselves in the room where big deals are being made? Because sometimes the man who is writing minutes for the meeting takes 1% of a deal that can solve his problem for the rest of his life. How do our people find themselves and engage and stay in the room and close major deals?
So, very interesting question. Because many people don't even know what's going on. And there's plenty going on. And like you said, if you're not in the room, you don't even know how to participate. So what I will say is, you need to make up your mind first that I want to be involved. I like what the Bible says in Philippians chapter 2, verse 14. It says, do everything without disputing or complaining, so that you may be without blame and without blemish, children of God who shine as lights in the middle of the world. I saw it as a formula. You want to shine as lights? Stop complaining. Stop disputing. Ask yourself, how can I be involved? Now, I'll tell you something. Is it in the Bible as well? It says, cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days, it will come back. I like the way a version puts it. Conventional English says, be generous, and one day you will reap the reward. People are planting and creating channels for themselves. That's what that's what networking is. Networking is building a well before you are testing. Networking is creating the links and relationships before it's time. Let me show you something very interesting I found recently. There's a very popular story in the Bible about a widow whose husband was owing money and went to meet the prophet and said they want to collect my children. Right? And the prophet said, go and borrow vessels. Yeah? And use the oil you have, be pouring your oil into it, and the oil will not finish until the buckets finish. So I usually tell people that when I was younger, I used to feel if I was the woman, I would have borrowed more buckets. I would have borrowed tanker. Everybody will say, I will borrow. So I asked people recently, I said, you, in your neighborhood, how many people in your neighborhood will borrow you buckets? The bucket you can borrow is limited to the way you have interacted with others. Now, what I'm saying is, we may, as in, and I ask people real questions. Somebody said, if I go to my neighbors, maximum I can borrow 8 buckets. Someone said I can borrow 20. I said, why can you borrow 20? He said, because my neighbors know me. I've gone to all of them one by one. I've given them tips. The reality is the channels you will have to expand your business and to get access to deals is a function of how many places and how many people you have deposited to. So same thing with the political balance. Some of the people who are cornering, who are on top of these deals, people who have been given to people within these spaces in the last 15 years. Somebody told me how somebody sent him to go and deliver $100,000 to somebody as far back as 14 years ago. That person is reaping the fruit of that now. What am I saying? I'm saying, if you're not in the room, you're not even in the conversation, you don't even know what's going on. How do I begin to be in the room now? One, engaging with some of these corporates and some of these government agencies requires patience. Patience because the people who are ahead of you didn't start yesterday.
Yeah.
Two, it requires humility. One of the biggest assets in dealing with Abuja is sometimes you will wait for 8 hours. All you are doing is waiting. So you need to learn how to maximize waiting time and how to develop value for yourself in waiting time. And while you're waiting, because you're building human bridges, right? If you get with someone, person connect somebody else, get someone connect someone else. What kind of impression are you leaving in everybody you are meeting? And are you dealing with relationship in such a way that you can borrow buckets in the future? Somebody told me, he said in my neighborhood, I have one neighbor that if my pepper grinder is not working, I can go and meet. Only one neighbor. I have one neighbor that if I'm not at home, my children can be dropped with. And why do I have that neighbor? I have that neighbor because I have picked the neighbor's children from school and helped us to pick them before. I have helped the neighbor before in many ways. The neighbor is also open to help me as well. How many people are we adding value to and creating indebtedness with in reciprocity that they can pay us back with? I'll tell you something. There are projects that are going on in Nigeria that nobody knows about. You just go to the international airport, you'll see that they are doing international airport. They are trying to put ACs on places. They are repatriating some places. They are doing construction. Somebody has that contract. Somebody sent me a proposal of supplying sand for coastal roads. It's not one person that has that contract. The people that have that contract are more than 50. But guess what? The person was saying that, Deolu, if I can get 1 billion, I will be returning 400 million every month. It's sand. I just need 100 trucks. We will lease the trucks. I will supply sand. I already have the PO. In fact, I can do the PO in your name. The way I'm sure. I do the PO in your name. They'll be paying to your account. You'll be paying me the balance. There are things going on, but the people that are in those rooms are the people who have built relationships into those rooms. So my encouragement is, when the prophet says, go and borrow not a few buckets, ensure that you live your life in such a way that the buckets that are accessible to you are plenty because of things you have done, prices you have paid in the past, things you have done as well in the past. Why, as in praise can call me at 1 o'clock and tell me it's 2 p.m. and I'll be there. Why? Because he has poured water in this bucket. I can call him and say, do this. It's because I exist. If it doesn't exist, it will look like, it's their friends that they're calling. Is this their enemies they should be calling? So those are my thoughts.
Thank you very much. And I think this answers the question a lot of naive people have when someone is in power and they are saying he's putting his own people, he's putting his tribes people, he's putting his own men, he's not spreading the thing around. Hello, the people that have been with him for 30 years, those are the people he knows. They are the people he's going to put, right? Thank you very much. I think there is a question, one more question in the box. Let me see. Someone says, is it possible to negotiate or ask from the markup from the government contracts? I don't understand the question. Is it possible to negotiate or ask from the markup? So if they mark it up, can I be part of that markup? Why would you want to be part of the markup? Anyways, but let me allow Deolu to respond to that.
So I'll tell you this, humility, patience, right? Humility and patience. If they didn't include the markup, it's because what qualifies you for markup, you don't have it. Work your way up. Work your way up. It's important. Work your way up. The truth is, if they give you the work and you deliver excellence, and they didn't give you any markup, when they want to do next time and they want excellence, they will look for you. You've established your brand as the excellent person. But if you say, you're backing it up so much, can I have insight? Keep it as your PR. Even if they give you everything, you will still give it back. The people that will get more, people that they are not so stuck on little things, because there's more to do, there's more to come. Let me give you a small principle. If your business is 1 million naira, you buy products and you sell it and you make 2 million. If you eat the 1 million naira profits, your business will always be 1 million. If you want your business to grow, that 2 million, you will spend 100K. You now have 1.9. You used to have 1.9 to buy materials. You sell it, you now have 3.8. Once you eat the 3.8, or you eat a good part of the profits, your business has reached its maximum. So what do? You take 200, you have 3.6. You put it back in business, you make 7.2. Your business only compounds when you take part of what you have made and put it back in the business. In the business with these big deals and these deals everywhere, the putting it back that you do part of it is the PR you do. Part of it is the people that you are, being a blessing to one way or the other, because you want to keep those doors opened so that if anything else comes, you are the first person on their mind. I know people who as in, someone was telling me recently, somebody got a deal, a very big deal. All the person has done is the person regularly pays the security staff of the person that they got the deal from. So that when the person was having a meeting, security was eavesdropping. Security called him and said, this thing is about to be closed though. The guy went behind the back of the house discussing it to go and close the deal because one of the security details heard the gist and gave him the gist because the security detail has been taken care of very well. What am I saying? I'm saying your first deal doesn't have to be the biggest deal, right? You need to learn how to let go of a lot in order to create something better. That's what I see. So if they don't want to cut you in, no problem now. What they are giving you, is it enough for you? What you are charging, will you raise a red flag in the future? That you're the one that collected 1 million to sew socks for people in the kitchen. If it doesn't raise those flags and it's good for you, be content. And deliberately build relationship, build rapport, so that you can do bigger things in the future.
Thank you very much, Deolu, for this incisive session. What's your final word? Because, this is, we're looking at deals and profits this year. And we really want people to step into major places. What will be your final word for us?
My final word is, the word that God gave me for this year. He said, this is your year of generosity. And I didn't understand fully what it means. I'm understanding more and more. The idea is, live in such a way that the channels through which God can bless you are multiplied. Live in such a way that the places you can borrow buckets from are not a few. Live in such a way that you are making deposits, like somebody said here. You are making deposits in different accounts so that on the day you need to make a withdrawal, you can make a huge withdrawal. Live in such a way that people are owing you. Use the law of reciprocity to incline favor in your direction. And build yourself, skill up, become a person of authority as well, so that when it's time for you to make the demands, you can make worthwhile demands. And then dream big, aim high, but start small. Be patient, be humble, and great things will happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deolu. Thank you so much for coming to this session. We really love and celebrate you. Thank you. God bless you. Our regards to MI and Nadem and Miriam. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Yeah, you've had it all. The month we have looked at how to close the deals, and you would know that this is an amazing session. It keeps getting better. So if you are yet to be part of Talk by Akinyemi, I can see you. That which you were doing before, go and conclude it. All right, that's Deolu's wife. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. You can go to your zones, all through the month of February. Go to your zones, puncture in your zones. We have the Nigerian zone. They are discussing deals. What are the deals available in Nigeria? What opportunities? How can people partner and participate? Go to that zone. If you're yet to join, they will drop the WhatsApp group. Go join. If you're in North America, join the North American group. If you're in Europe and UK, join the UK group. Everything this month at the zonal level, that's what they're talking about. Now, next month, so they won't be meeting again for the rest of the month. Next month, second Sunday, we're looking at Palace Protocol. Palace Protocol, what happens inside the palace? What happens inside governance, where deals are made? What are the do's and don'ts, the things you must not do, the things you need to do, and blah, blah. What happens inside Aso Rock and inside White House, right? That's what we're looking at next month. You don't want to miss that meeting. Invite your friends, invite your frenemies. Okay, Mary Jane or Ayo, somebody's asking that you drop the link to the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much. I hand over back to Arit. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'll see you next month, God's willing. Bye-bye for now from me.